So when I go back, because of course it says I'm also supposed to use a confidence interval after I've done the hypothesis test. So here I did p-value to alpha. And over here I'm going to use the confidence interval to decide. So if I go back and I create the confidence interval, this time it changes the name to a one prop Z interval instead of Z test. I sound very French, right? Z interval instead of Z test. The hypotheses will, of course, stay exactly the same. So the claim is that it's 75, and then that it's not, that it's different from 75. Of course, remember in here you need the words. I'll trust that you can go put them back from when we did the prompt the first time. And then the conditions will be the same. And so the difference is now I have to create the interval, which if you remember, this was your formula. If you forget, you can always look it up. Now on the formula sheet, they leave that P completely generic. Here's why. For z-test, the popo. For z-interval, it's a p-hat party. Intervals are p-hat parties. So in this, for this one, I'll be using p-hat, and also, actually, the conditions do change, I forgot, because in the conditions, I have to also use the p-hats. So, everywhere a p-hat. Everybody's wearing hats in interval, and in the test, there's popo everywhere. So I will have to go back and double check it. So of course n was 100 and my p-hat was 0.68. And over here I'm multiplying, oops, I didn't mean to. So here I have 100 times 0.32. I don't know why that says equal to. Okay, and so now when I create the interval, so now I'm doing Z star. Now, if it's a 5% significance level, and my alternative is two-sided, that means I have 5% split on the left and the right. And so remember that that leaves me with a 95% confidence level. So when I go look up Z star for 95%, I get 1.96, and then I'll have 0.68 and 0.32 inside the square root with my 100, and my values are 589 and 771. And then of course I'll be deciding based off of whether or not my null hypothesis, does my whole live in my interval? And the answer is yes. So since HO is in the 95% confidence interval, I cannot reject at alpha equals 0.05 and conclude that the proportion of all employees